Yo, what's going on, Guardians? Welcome to episode 3 of the Recalibrate series. I'm Wardside. Let's do this. So, this episode is based on something that's really important to me, and that's minimizing death and making the best decisions possible. This mindset is what sets apart the great players from the average players. Alright, so check this out. Both my teammates just died, and now it's a 3v1. Now, in this situation, I have a split second to analyze a few things, and I'll tell you what questions you should be asking yourself when you find yourself in this position. The first thing that went through my mind was, how do I isolate these guys? That's what you should always ask yourself when it's a 1v3 scenario. How do I isolate these guys and get the best chance I can get? You want 1v1 matchups. You do not want to challenge 2v1 or 3v1. So what I did was I tried to isolate each guy one-on-one, and you'll see that within this clip. Alright, so in this next clip, you're going to notice I'm in a really bad position here. Like, look at the radar, and then look where I'm at. I have no escape route. I have no teammates near me. And this is why I die. Every time you choose to engage an enemy, you need to make sure you have at least one escape route. And sometimes we get so caught up in the game, you don't really think about that. Just always ensure you have an escape route and make sure you're near your team. I was nowhere near anyone. I think there was one straggler, but overall, there was no one near me, and that was my fault. That was a bad positioning play on my part. So the next tip I want to go over is decision making. And within this next clip, you'll see how decisive I am against these other two guys that think they have the upper hand on me. So at this point, I've already killed one of his teammates. Now it's a 1v1. This guy is so concerned with getting the hill instead of killing me. And take a look at the time. We still have 30 seconds left before anything even happens, before like sudden death kicks in and all that stuff. And at this point, he's doing everything he can in his power to make sure that I don't get this territory. He goes for heavy here, which is a really bad decision on his part, and he wasn't trying to bait me. He just got lucky because he had Wormhusk on here. But you see, he gets super concerned, and he just runs right out in the open. I just smoke him, and boom, that's it. That's the end of the round. That was a terrible decision, and they could have easily won that being a 2v1. The only time you should rush in competitive is if the enemy team has a life advantage. So you'll notice right off the bat, one of my teammates is already dead. Right off, this is the start of the round. Also, this clip is sped up a little bit. You can probably already see that. And that's because this is an entire round of competitive. So I wanted to speed it up so you guys didn't have to, get bored watching this. But I wanted to illustrate how often my teammates die and how hard it is to play your life when your teammates continuously die and you're just trying to get angles. You're trying to find the best way to push the enemy and be aggressive and combine that with passive play as well. It's just trying to figure out your opponent's weakness. So while this clip is rolling through, let's quickly go over what I mean by minimizing death and playing your life. So you'll notice every time I peek a lane, it's desirable. It's what I want. I'm enticing the enemy to peek. And as they peek, I have the advantage because they're peeking me. So they don't have a good chance there. So there's always going to be risk with pushing or peeking a lane, but you have to do it to win games. You can't just rely on your teammates to do everything. You have to get better yourself. That's why you're here, right? So if you want to get better at minimizing deaths and playing your life, record your gameplay. Record through Twitch. Like, you don't even have to broadcast anybody. Just broadcast yourself, And then, or you could record through 720p settings on your Xbox One. Don't do 1080p because it's shorter and it doesn't last as long. Do 720p. Alright guys, so I know this video is a little bit longer. It's a little bit longer than what I wanted. But I do want to say that next episode is going to be based on positioning. And you really don't want to miss that one because positioning is like my thing. And if you've ever played with me, you know how much I harp on positioning and how important it is. It'll directly tie into this episode as well. You'll see a lot of decision making, and that's what this series is built to do. You're gonna keep building and building your foundation until you're as solid as a fucking brick house. That's what we're going for here. So I'll catch you guys next episode.